Like, I don't want to be a starving artist. I don't. I really don't. I want to create a life that I could truly enjoy and live now. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I am super excited about this video today because I am going to be talking about 5 things that I would do if I were to start my brand in 2022. Okay, if you missed my previous video, which was 10 things I wish I knew before starting my fashion brand, make sure you go check that out. I'm gonna link it above, also link it in the description. Okay, you guys, I started my brand at a super young age. Okay, I'm currently 27. So I started my brand when I was a freshman in college. I was in the sewing game in high school, okay? Like, I started my fashion career in high school. So I really started my brand at such a young age. And while I've had some great high moments, there's also a lot of things that I would do differently, okay? And so the purpose of this video is to really talk about the 5 things that I would do differently if I were to start my brand in 2022. So make sure you subscribe, watch the entire video because I'm really about to drop some gems, okay? Okay, and I have my laptop here, which, first of all, let's get into my laptop. This is not a sponsored video, but I was just like, listen, how can I not show? So in one of my videos last year, obviously you guys know I talk about Black owned businesses all the time on my channel, okay? This laptop case is from Chic Geeks. I told y'all I was eyeing this, I was gonna get it, and your girl got it over Black Friday holiday weekend, okay? Look at how nice this is, okay? This is the black, like, faux leather crocodile case. It is so cute, okay? So cute. I love the aesthetic with my new office, and it just looks so good. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk about this in the video, but I was just like, how can I not? Like, Chic Geeks, make sure y'all go check them out. They have phone cases, all cases for all of your technology. But the reason why I have my laptop here is because I have taken detailed notes. So if you see me looking down, I just want to make sure that I do not miss anything. But let's go ahead and get into this video. The first thing that I would do if I were to start my brand over in 2022 is grow my audience organically, okay? Before you think about spending money on anything, make sure, number one, that you have an interested audience in the thing that you're trying to sell, you know, in the business that you're trying to create, okay? It's almost like dating, right? When you first meet someone, before you take the next step to become exclusive, you want to get to know them first, right? You want to know what they're about. Are they going to add value to your life? Like, you know what I mean? This is a long-term investment. The same goes for buying and selling products, okay? Before you can just launch a brand and expect people to flock to you, they're not gonna flock if they don't have any clue who you are. You came out the woodwork, you know what I mean? Especially if your product is not that unique, okay? Let's be real, like, the market is saturated with a lot of the same different things, right? But the difference between the successful brands and the brands that kind of fade and get lost is that the successful brands have a specific point of view and they know how to connect with their audience, okay? So how can you grow your audience organically? Really think about what can you give of value for free before even asking them to make a purchase, right? So that could be samples, and samples can be different. Like, if you have it's obviously samples are really known in the beauty industry, so you can give away free samples to customers to have them actually try out your product before they make a purchase, right? That's a way. But also, let's say if you're creating a service, right, and you know down the line you want to start a coaching program, or you want to be able to help individuals in some way and have them pay for a service, start dropping gems for free so that they can start to gravitate towards you, so that they see you as a person who has value and who has expertise, right? If you're starting a clothing brand, start showing behind the scenes, right? Maybe start posting inspo photos on Instagram, or start just posting like your creative process to actually create certain garments, right? I mean, there's so many different things that you can do to start to cultivate your audience, but do it and try to figure out the free way to get it done, okay? The other thing I would say about your audience is that as you're growing and cultivating it, make sure that you have a way for them to stay connected with you, whether it's opting into an email or, again, creating an Instagram page or whatever. You just want to make sure that as you're doing the work to connect with different people, that you have a way to easily reach out to them once you are ready to launch your business. So the next thing I would do before I actually launch a brand is to really be strategic in my marketing efforts, okay? In the previous video, I mentioned the importance of having a 360 marketing plan. Most people think that posting on Instagram, that's it, that's the plan. And no, it's not. Like, you have to do more than just post on Instagram, okay? Number one, there's several free social marketing platforms that you can take advantage of, okay? Posting on Instagram alone is not gonna help you see the most success within your business or within your launch, okay? So number one, within the social sphere, make sure you have a plan to reach as many platforms as possible that make sense for your brand and that makes sense for your audience, okay? That's the first mistake that I see, is people just rely solely on Instagram, and you can't do that. There's so many different platforms. Make sure that you're creating content so that you can use it across all platforms to maximize your reach. The second thing is, social alone is not the only marketing strategy, okay? There's so many different marketing strategies. You can do content marketing, you can do ads, you can do a website, right? SEO marketing. I mean, there's just so many things, even events and trade sales. So just make sure that you have a plan. Obviously, I would say take advantage of any free marketing that you can do first. You want to spend, again, the least amount of money possible and really save your dollars for things that are going to be high impact, okay? I'm going to go into a separate video really detailing what these strategies look like, and if I were, to truly launch a brand, what my 360 marketing plan would actually look like, okay? But Instagram alone is not a marketing strategy. Next thing I would do if I were to start my brand is figure out, how can I launch with the least amount of money and inventory possible, okay? Creating a product-based business is tricky because it's product, it's physical inventory, okay? But you do not need to purchase your inventory ahead of time in order to sell it, okay? Really think about taking advantage of strategies such as pre-orders, okay? When you pre-order a product, maybe you have a sample that you can take pictures of and, create kind of marketing content with, but you just have one sample. You launch that sample to gain interest, to see, do people really want to buy this? Are your marketing strategies working? And then you can adjust accordingly, okay? But with pre-orders, people pay for the product ahead of time, and then they know up front that the lead time to ship it might take a few weeks, right? It's not immediate. They're not going to get it in 2 days. but they know this information ahead of time. So this allows you, again, to gather interest, to really see, okay, is this a product that I want to continue to make, or do I need to make updates in it in some way, shape, or form so that I can get more people to purchase, okay? The other strategy is drop shipping. Drop shipping is when you create a website, you can have as many products as you want on the website, but they're shipping directly from the manufacturer, okay? I'm gonna do a whole video on this because this is a way where you can run your business, run money, and you don't even have to touch any type of product. You don't have to see it at all because it ships directly from the manufacturer itself to your customer without you having to figure out how to house it and all this other stuff. The other thing I would do is consider launching a limited collections, right? And so what this means is maybe instead of launching an entire collection of like 10 things on your site, you could start with like 1 or 2 products, okay? So that way you can slowly build, you can gauge the interest and slowly grow your brand. The other thing is, let's say if you come up with a collection of 5 items, maybe you only have 10 in stock of each item, right? So what's gonna happen is, as those, you want the items to sell out quickly. And as soon as your brand starts, you start small, you start to sell things quickly, it becomes difficult for people to get their hands on it. You're now starting to build exclusivity. You're also starting to build hype around your brand because every time you put something out, it gets sold out. So then people are kind of on the hunt for it to come out the next time. People can join your wait list or whatever. So these are all strategies to start small with like little to no money. And it's like on your end, on the back end, you know you're doing these things because you're trying to save a coin. But then to the people, it's like, oh, you always out of stock, you doing well, all this other stuff. You know what I mean? So just like really think about, again, before spending money on inventory, just think about these things. But again, I am going to do another video really kind of deep diving into these strategies in the future. So the next thing I would do if I could go back and start my business over again this year, before starting my business, I would definitely make sure to invest in a mentor or a business coach, okay? Someone who has done the thing that you're trying to do. That way they can really help you further. They can really guide you in the right direction so that you can start off on the best possible foot, okay? I remember when I first like launched like my first official collection, or what I deem as first official collection. This was my senior year in college, okay? This was the collection when I had participated in DC Fashion Week. It was, honestly, I feel like till this day, that was probably my favorite collection. Even till this day, I felt like it had so much character. So it was just so me. It was so me. It was a streetwear collection. It was so me. And I just felt like if I had a mentor before I launched back then, I would probably on a different path than I am now. You know what I mean? In terms of the level of success, you know what I mean? I probably could have made money off of that collection because it was good. I feel like it was good. Even now, the me now, I would still wear a lot of those pieces now. You know what I mean? I just felt like it was so classic. It was timeless. It's definitely like my aesthetic now. And I don't know. I feel like it just did not have a chance. It didn't have a chance because I did not know what I was doing, okay? I did end up getting a business coach later down the line, okay? And I remember the first thing that my business coach told me was, you need to change your name. Back then, I was running under Dynasty by Brittany, and I didn't have anything trademarked. I just like made up a name. I made up an Instagram for it, created a website. I did not do the proper things to actually secure my business trade name. Because if I had done my research, I would have realized that, yeah, I can't use that name because there's so many businesses named Dynasty. Even if you add the by Brittany on it, like, you can't trademark that. So that's another tip, is to make sure you actually do the job to secure your name. But see, I knew my coach told me how to do that. You know what I mean? So if I hadn't gotten a coach, I might still be running under the same name. Who knows? And all my work and effort to build up Dynasty by Brittany has now like completely just is lost in the universe because I changed my name. You know what I mean? So now it's like, it's very difficult to connect the two. So that's one thing. The other thing is find your niche. It was actually my business coach that suggested me going into bridal. And it's so crazy because I remember that day like it was yesterday. Literally, I was on the phone with her. This was my very first time speaking to her, right? She's going over my website. She's reviewing, you know, everything that I submitted to her. And the first thing she tells me is, have you ever thought about going into bridal? And I was like, no, like, you know what I mean? Because nothing on my site says bridal. I was nowhere near married, okay? Like, why would I do that? I didn't think about that. But she saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And because she planted that seed in me, it caused me to push to really reach my full potential to see if that was something that I can do. And then next thing you know, I put out a bridal collection. I mean, it's crazy, you know what I mean? And I'm still growing and I'm still trying to figure out myself as a designer, but I feel like I realized how much I actually do like to make dresses, high-end dresses, luxury dresses, and here we are. So there's a lot of benefits to being able to invest in either a mentor or a business coach, because they could just really help you from the beginning so that you don't even have to, like, you know, learn from other people's mistakes. Learn from other people's mistakes. People like myself who are now teaching so that you don't have to go through the same thing. So get a coach, y'all. Get a mentor. Whatever you gotta do, make sure you have someone who can help guide you through this process, especially if you have never done it before and you don't have experience. So the last thing that I would do differently now is I would truly prepare financially to start a business. Starting a business is not cheap. There's a lot of like little fees, little things that add up. You know what I mean? I mentioned in my last video that one year when I was doing taxes, I realized I had spent $5,000 on fabric. Like, that was a bad financial decision because I don't know what I was buying or where it went. You know what I mean? Because I did not make that money back in my business. But starting a business, there's just a lot of things that you have to purchase. So I think if you know ahead of time that you want to start a business, start now to build up your business account. Go to the bank. You can create a business account. You can create another checking account. Whatever you do, just create a separate account from your checking and savings. Hopefully everybody has a checking and a savings, okay? But create a third account that's strictly for a business. And whatever money goes into that business account is only supposed to be used for business expenses, okay? But start ahead of time building up that money. So you can either, you know, when you get paid from your job, you can have some of the funds go into this account just to kind of jumpstart it. You can also do several side hustles. Last year, I opened up a Poshmark shop. I knew I was moving and I wanted to get rid of a lot of stuff that I did not wear. I made a good chunk of money just selling stuff that I already had. And all of that money is in my business account that I'm not touching. You know what I mean? So there's so many different things, but really create a plan financially to figure out how you're going to fund your business, because while you can start using the least amount of money as possible, there's still some things that you have to pay for. So you just want to make sure that you have a plan in place so that you're able to do so. I'm really just being financially stable, being financially sound, and making good financial decisions is so important to me. And it's so important to me, especially as an entrepreneur. I've seen, you know, there's a lot of success stories of people who have made it, and you know, they have these stories of like being homeless and living in their car, and not to take anything away from those people, but I don't feel like you have to go through that type of struggle in order to be successful. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be a starving artist. I don't. I really don't. I want to create a life that I could truly enjoy and live now. So the way that I go about my finances, even for my business, is I'm intentional about my money. And starting a business, starting over again, which I will be starting over, okay, it's going to be the same way. I'm going to be so intentional about my business, okay, because I want to be profitable at the end of the day. I don't want to lose money, all my hard-earned cash. I don't want it to go out the window, and I don't want to be in a situation where I am struggling. So it's just important. A lot of people don't really think about the finances and how to even structure your business. I mean, consider getting an accountant. Consider having a professional on your team who knows how to manage money, so that when you start from the beginning, again, building a solid foundation is gonna be so important for your success. So these are all things to consider, you guys. If I were to start over again, I'm definitely, which I am, okay? And actually, you know, my goal for this year is to make multiple streams of income. So there's several businesses that is gonna come out of 2022 for me. And you guys are gonna see, like, once it's done, maybe not even once it's done. I think along the way, we'll see. But my point is, I'm gonna take you guys on a journey with me to share what worked, what didn't work, you know, what I'm doing, okay? Because I'm really trying to build my Brittany Christina empire, okay? But I'm gonna be applying these principles to my own business endeavors for this year, okay? So if you found this super helpful, leave me a comment down below and let me know which part was the most helpful for you. Let me know what type of businesses are you starting. If you have businesses, you guys share them in the comments. I really want to help support one another, so that we could just help each other, you know? And yeah, that's it for this week, okay? Like I said, I'm gonna be diving in each of these points a lot further. If you guys have questions about anything, like, also drop them in the chat too, and I can, you know, figure out how to incorporate your questions into a future video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.